Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Biafra Superstars Media. Today is the day, the D-Day, the day of the showdown between our leader, Maazi Nnamdi Kanu, as he faces off against the new judge dealing with his case, a case that no judge in this planet should be able to handle or should even step in to accept. Let us watch and see what this justice, known as James Omotosho, has in stock for Yendu. Let us see how he will come and deal with this case. Let us see his perspective. Throughout this day, I will dedicate this day to Nnamdi Kanu and our leader, Simon Ekpa. You will see videos from me as the day-to-day events unfolds. But for now, I present to you a man who was there as a Biafran child, who had kwashoko during the days of the Biafran War, who saw his mother, his sister, killed by the bullets of the Nigerian military during the Biafran War. A man who saw his uncle, 3 fingers chopped off with a machete by the Nigerian military because they assumed he was a baby soldier. Fellow Biafrans, this same man, when the Red Cross, the so-called Red Cross, come with food, the infamous Gabon and soup, when they come to the villages, the market square, to feed the children, this same man, as a child, will grab a plate, queue up at the side of the Red Cross, and they'll be giving Gary Gabon and soup to take into the bushes to feed his fleeing father and siblings. Only for the Nigerian soldiers, the Islamic Fulani headers embedded in the Nigerian military, only for them to grab the food of this young man, drink the soup, eat the nutrient, and sometimes give this young boy just the gari or an empty plate to take into the bushes. You've heard his story on too many occasions of how he was able to cheat death through starvation of kwashoko. So today, I want us to hear his own perspective on this case of Nnamdi Kanu that is about to begin in the next few hours. Fellow Biafrans, without any much further ado, I present to you the Biafran Golden Child, the real Biafran Golden Child. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're hearing my voice from. I'm always super glad to interact with my fellow Biafran people, lovers of peace, people who respect the rule of law, hardworking people, and people who believe that the Southeast will see better days in the nearest future. We all believe that the redeclared United States of Biafra is where we all belong. We know it's just a question of time when we reach El Dorado, when we achieve all we want to achieve, when we come into the promised land. Yes, of course, we know the road to freedom is never easy, never easy. But yes, it's a daunting task, but we are capable, we are ready, we have the capacity and the capability to move forward always. Because as far as we're concerned, the mantra is forward ever, backward never. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure this morning of 21st March 2025. I'm happy, to interact with us. And I want to make a very quick, some quick analysis about our Oyendo Maazi Nnamdi Kanu, our maximum leaders trial that is, coming up today in a federal high court at Abuja. Yes, our maximum leader will be, facing the trial under the, judge, federal high court judge, the man they call Omotosho. Yes, Omotosho. So he's going to be tried under Omotosho, and we want to know how it's going to look like. What is it going to look like? Because our maximum leader will be tried today, March 21st, before Justice James Omotosho, the Federal High Court, 7 in Abuja. So I just thought we should reflect a bit on what to expect, about the trial. Yes. In a matter of hours, Maazi Nnamdi Kanu will appear once again in the Federal High Court in Abuja, marking the recommencement of his trial on charges of terrorism and treason. Within the first half hour of the proceedings, two pivotal questions will be addressed, setting the tone for the remainder of the trial. First key decision: self-representation versus legal counsel. Self-representation versus legal counsel. The initial questions to be resolved is whether Kanu will opt to represent himself or continue to be represented by his legal team. This decision will significantly influence the dynamics of the trial. If Kanu chooses to defend himself, the court stance, as guided by the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, is likely to be one of refusal. The Act stipulates that individuals charged with capital offenses may not represent themselves. However, it is crucial to note the use of may in the Act, which leaves room for interpretation, especially in the light of the constitutional right to self-representation or representation by a lawyer of one's choice. The Constitution's overarching principle is likely to prevail, superseding any statutory rules or judicial preferences. Ecolaw Media predicts that Kanu opting for self-representation would be detrimental to his case. Even if he attempts this route, it is anticipated that he will ultimately revert to being represented by counsel. Second key decision: plea and jurisdiction challenge. Plea, plea and jurisdiction challenge. The second critical issue is whether Kanu will enter a plea or challenge the court's jurisdiction before doing so. Choosing to challenge the jurisdiction could have significant repercussions. The primary risk is that the court may order the parties to submit written arguments on the matter, which would delay Kanu's ability to apply for bail. Thus, Kanu and his legal team must weigh the urgency of securing his release against the principled stance of questioning the court's jurisdiction. This decision presents a challenging dilemma for the defense. Implications of Kanu's decisions. Implications of Kanu's decisions. The outcomes of these initial decisions will not only shape the immediate trajectory of the trial, but also have broader implications. One, impact on trial duration. Impact on trial duration. If Kanu challenges the court's jurisdiction, the trial could be significantly delayed. This delay might prolong his detention and affect public perceptions of the judicial process. Two, political and social ramifications. Political and social ramifications. Given Kanu's prominence and the sensitivity of the charges against him, his decisions in court could have wider political and social implications. A decision to self-represent or challenge jurisdiction might be interpreted as a statement of resistance against the judicial system, potentially fueling further unrest or support amongst his followers. Three, bail prospects. Three, bail prospects. The decision to challenge jurisdiction could hinder Kanu's chances of securing bail. A prolonged legal battle over jurisdiction might lead to extended detention, impacting his health and well-being, as well as his ability to prepare an effective defense. 4. Public and international scrutiny. Public and international scrutiny. Kanu's case has attracted significant attention, both nationally and internationally. The decisions made in court will be closely monitored, and any perceived unfairness or procedural irregularities could lead to increased scrutiny and criticism of the Nigerian judicial system. Finally, as the trial resumes, the answers to these initial questions will set the stage for the proceedings ahead. The decisions made by Kanu and his legal team will not only determine the immediate direction of the case, but also have far-reaching implications for the legal, political, and social landscape. The true part of the trial will soon be revealed, and all eyes will be on the Federal High Court in Abuja as these crucial matters are addressed. Ladies and gentlemen, the above, thoughts and postulations are what we expect to happen, today. That, in fact, that is already happening now. That the court proceedings are taking place today, March 21st, at the Federal High Court, Abuja, under Justice James Omotosho. But it is important to add, here, that we should recognize the fact that even Maazi Kano, Maazi Kano, said he might actually, be representing himself. He said he might actually jettison any counsel or legal representative. And of course, we have said when he takes these decisions, it's likelihood that it would not only impact on his trial, it may actually, jeopardize a whole lot of things in terms of, the length and, the trajectory of this trial. But it's important to note that even our maximum leader, Maazi Nnamdi Kanu, has equally taken the bull by the horns, because we read again, in the social medias, and some of his associates, legal counsels have come to tell us, that look, Maazi has actually beefed up his legal representation, that we shouldn't mind what he has said, that he's going to present himself. All those quotes and all that are mere fallacies. That Maazi Nnamdi Kanu has actually decided to beef up his defense counsel. And whether you like it or not, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a tough one, because he's ready. He knows it's not going to be an easy task. For the first time, the Chief Justice of the Federation has said, look, now I'm transferring Nnamdi Kanu's case to another jurisdiction, to another Federal High Court, under a new Chief Judge, under a new Judge, Dr. Justice James Omotosho. Since Nnamdi Kanu said he didn't have confidence in the previous Justice, Justice Binta Moritala Yako, and Binta Yako actually recused herself towards the end of last year, November last year. And so even when the Chief Judge appointed, the Chief Judge appointed another, still requested Justice Binta Yako to continue with the case. This January, Nnamdi Kanu blatantly and flagrantly rejected any such, procedure or judgments or adjudication under Justice Binta Motala Yako. So that's now been the case. The Chief Justice has appointed Justice James Omotosho to take over the matter, and Nnamdi Kanu decided to beef up and, prepare himself, his defense counsel, because we know James Omotosho, Justice James Omotosho's antecedents. We know that he's always pandering, to to where his, bread is buttered. He looks towards, what will favor him and favor his political acolytes. Yes. So Nnamdi Kanu has heard it, and he said, "Look, I'm going to beef up my defense counsel." So let's just review this a bit. The former Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, Kanu Agabi-san, and Senior Advocate of Nigeria, San Uchenna Njoku, have joined the legal team, yes, defending Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob. Agabi, a former senator and two-time Attorney General of the Federation, is expected to lead Kanu's legal team, which is currently headed by Ipob's special counsel, Barrister Aloy Ejimako, according to a source familiar with the case. The source confirmed to Sahara reporters that Kanu has retained his existing legal team, which includes Maxwell Opara and Nnameka Ejiofor, ensuring a comprehensive defense strategy as his trial resumes. Kanu, who was controversially renditioned from Kenya in June 2021, remains in the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS, for the past 4 Christmases, past 4 years. His next court appearance is scheduled for Friday, March 21st. Friday, March 21st, before Justice James Omotosho of Federal High Court 7 in Abuja. The latest development follow a judicial reshuffle in Kanu's case. Yes, it should be noted that Kanu's trial will start afresh after the recusal of Justice Binta Murtala Nyako, the former presiding judge. Initially overseen by Justice Nyako, the case was reassigned to Justice Omotosho after Kanu and Ejimako publicly called for a change in judicial oversight. This request was made after an unsuccessful attempt to return the case to Justice Nyako. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, here you have it now. We have given you some of, the things to expect at the trial of Onyendo, Maazi Nnamdi Kanu today. We have told you some of the implications. We told you, if he, depending on how he pleads or if he decides to represent himself, we have told you the implications. And if he decides to plea, to want to know why, if there's a jurisdiction, if the court actually has a jurisdiction to try him, then that's a different matter. We have observed that it's going to take, more time. It's going to make his trial even far longer than expected. And of course, we have told you some of the implications of Maazi Nnamdi Kanu's trial. That already it has attracted both national and international, scrutiny. Because a lot of people have heard about the case. A lot of people are aware of some of the injustices being done to this gentleman, peace-loving protester, a gentleman who, like Martin Luther King Jr., late Martin Luther King Jr. of America, is a peaceful protester, who was talking about the plight of his people, the Biafrans, how they have been marginalized, how they have been subjugated, how they have been treated like a defeated people all over the years. And he has said, if you don't want these people to develop, you don't want them to grow, you don't want them to, do business with you, let them go and develop their region. Maazi Nnamdi said, you cannot tell a people, you cannot aspire to the highest position in the land. You cannot tell a people that you are not going to develop their regions, give them international airports, give them international seaports. Even the seaport at Calabar has been made redundant just to prevent the Igbo man, the Biafra man, from excelling in his business, such that to do his international business, his import and export business, he has to resort to going to Lagos, Abuja, and places in the north to go and do his business, where he's faced with heavy taxation, multiple taxation, and so many other, dubious and unfavorable circumstances. Maazi Nnamdi Kanu said, look, these Igbo people, these people from the southeast, they are part of the fundamental foundations of this country since the amalgamation in 1914 by Lord Lugard. Yes, the Southeast was a very potent and powerful foundation. Part of it, when the amalgamation of the Northern Protectorate and the Southern Protectorate was done in 1914 by Lord Lugard. And he said, if these people who have endured so much, who have contributed so much, to the growth of Nigeria, even up to independence. Yes, of course, he recalled and reminded everybody that the Southeast had personalities who fought, the British to a standstill. We know great politicians from the Southeast, late Dr. Nnamdi Kanu, yes, Dr. Mike Obara late, Bono Ejike late, uh, all the great personalities who fought for the independence of this country in 1960. And he's saying, when you now treat them like a defeated people, when you frame them up and say they were the ones who, started it all by organizing an Igbo coup, the coup that Kaduna Nzogu, Kaduna Nzogu, uh, uh, led in 1966, the January 66 coup, which everybody widely touted to be an Igbo coup, but which we have discovered from recent revelations, by none other than a former head of state of this country, a military president, Ibrahim Babangida, in his book, Journey of Service. Babangida has told the whole world, blatantly and vociferously and clearly that coup was never an Igbo coup. That in fact, several Igbo officers tried to stop the coup and they died in the process. A lot of Igbo officers were killed. And the former president, head of state president, military president Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida also said that in fact the beneficiary of that coup was actually late Chief Obafemi Awolowo. Yes, that the young officers, they were carried away by Chief Obafemi's ideological positions and postulations, and they thought he would make a good provisional president. So their intention was to go and get him, release him from the Calabar prisons where he was incarcerated, and make him a president. So you can all imagine what Nnamdi Kanu is saying, that if a beneficiary of the 1966 coup was Chief Obafemi Awolowo from Western Nigeria, yes, from the Southwest, why would they call it an Igbo coup? And because they called it an Igbo coup, the Northerners perpetrated heinous, offenses against the Igbo. They killed, they maimed, they destroyed, they burnt, and they looted shops belonging to Igbo people. There was so much mayhem, as if there was genocidal, pronouncement on the Igbo people. They chased them away from all other regions in the country, chased them down to the southeast. Even when they got to the southeast, yes, they declared a civil war on innocent people. People who were peace loving, people who were law abiding, people who were, hardworking, who had no intention to fight any person. Yes, even though between 1966, 67, 68, 69, 70, this war ravaged the whole of the southeast, causing kwashoko, making the aged to be sick and uncared for, causing so much mayhem, havoc in the southeast. It has been described as the highest level of wickedness any government can foist on any region of a country. Yes, of course, there was blockade of the air, blockade of the sea, blockade of the land. Medicines and what needed food supplies, could not come to the east. So children died of kwashoko, over 3 million children. The sick and the elderly died. There was no hope for the Biafran people. Of course, they tried to defend themselves meekly. People who didn't prepare for a war, people who were not looking forward to a war, peaceful lovers were forced to defend themselves. Because of course, when you chase a man down to his, house, you chase him down to his house. He has no, there's nothing else he can do than to defend himself. Yes, unfortunately, the Biafrans, the Southeast lost close to 5 million uh, people, and unfortunately, these people, their souls are still begging, begging, crying, you know, for justice, justice. We, Maazi Nnamdi Kanu said, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. This is a man who told the line of late Martin Luther King of the United States, a civil rights activist, and they arrested him. They kidnapped him from Kenya, renditioned him from Kenya, and under controversial circumstances, brought him to Nigeria. And since then, rather than giving him a proper trial, they have kept him at the DSS dungeon, creating one charge or the other. Every other day bringing up charges, you're removing them. When they don't find him guilty, they foment and create other ones. They have orchestrated all kinds of, scenarios to continue to keep him in the DSS inhuman dungeon. He's been there now for the past 4 Christmases, and we are looking forward. We're hoping that this trial this time with formidable personalities like the former Attorney General of the Federation, yes, Kanu Agabi Sam, and Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Uchenna Njoku, joining his team, formidable team still led by a lawyer, Ejima Co. We believe that something, yes, finally will be achieved this time. So, ladies and gentlemen, today is March 21st, Friday, March 21st, 2025. In a few minutes from now, in a few hours from now, we will know what the condition is. We will know what the tone of the trial is. We will know if Justice James Omotosho would write his name in gold, or he wants to be damned. He wants his name to be etched perpetually amongst the wicked, the most wicked, the highly, irresponsible, and people who have slaughtered justice on the altar of, partisan politics, people who have slaughtered politics, slaughtered justice, fair play, and equity on the altars of, bribery and corruption. All this we shall find out in a few hours. So, ladies and gentlemen, brace up. Let us wish Maazi leader Maazi Nnamdi Kanu well. He has done no harm. He has committed no sin. He has committed no offenses. He is not a human parts harvester. Is not a kidnapper. Is not involved in terrorism. He is a political activist, peaceful political activist who only sin was to talk about the plight of his people who are daily being marginalized, who are daily being subjugated, and who are daily being prevented from living a normal life or achieving normal business achievements or promotions. That is where we are today. We believe time is of essence now. Time is of essence now for us. Let's wish him all the best, and let's pray the Almighty Yahweh will come to his aid as he should. God bless you all. Thank you and God bless.
Biafra must be restored, for there is nothing the enemies can do about it. You brought Biafra that light may come into Africa. You gave us hope because we are in a continent of hopelessness. And by thy grace, Biafra shall be restored. We shall be resurrected. We shall crown our efforts with the glory by the grace of the Most High himself. We are not strong. We do not pretend to be strong. All we do is to submit ourselves to your will, that your will may be done upon our lives. We have lost many people. We have lost so many good people. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten. We shall honor them, and for their sake Biafra will come. Because we are wandering all over the world, hoping against every hope that things will turn around for the better. It has never turned around for the better. Instead, it is getting worse. Please do not abandon your children. You have given us a commission, and we must accomplish it in our lifetime. Our enemies are equally important because they must listen. Those who do not love the truth must listen. Those who are beholden to darkness, they must also listen. For we are here to bring light upon a very darkened continent without Biafra. Africa is nothing without Biafra. There is no difference between a black man and a wild animal in the forest. We say with every ounce of conviction. I welcome each and every one of you. If you're joining us for the very first time, this is Radio Biafra. This is how we do it. We magnify the name of the Most High before we do anything. That is why we are exceptionally formidable. That is why